WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good morning, I'm Taylor Upchurch. Today is Saturday, May 18th. We're still working to learn more about a fatal motorcycle crash in Floyd County. It all happened around 4 yesterday afternoon on Kentucky 122 in the Printer community. Kentucky State Police tell us the driver of the motorcycle lost control and crossed into the oncoming lane of traffic. Troopers are still notifying the victim's family. We'll continue to update the story on our website, WYMT.com. An arrest is made after one student had to be taken to the hospital by ambulance after meth was somehow ingested or smoked. Letcher County Sheriff Mickey Steins tells us this arrest all stemmed from their investigation of the Tuesday morning incident. Since this case involves juveniles, certain details are being left out. Right now, Robert Heaston is facing a first-degree trafficking of a controlled substance charge. Authorities believe he was purposefully trying to get meth into the middle school in hopes that kids would sell it for him. And now let's check in with meteorologist Kelly McShane for a look at your forecast this morning. Kelly, what can folks expect today?
Well, so far we are starting off dry, but we are starting off pretty foggy out there. I'll go ahead and take you to Pinpoint Doppler to start off. This is a little bit different than what we've seen the last few hours. We are finally drying out after a couple showers and storms yesterday, but check this out. Looking outside of downtown Whitesburg, we are dealing with lots of fog. I know a lot of folks are going to Whitesburg for a 5K this morning, but we're going to be dealing with that fog for just a little bit longer, so just keep that in mind. Here's a look at that visibility, especially into Harlan County and Bell County. That's where we're seeing the biggest issues, as well as up to our north where they saw a little bit more rainfall yesterday. So especially those valley regions, just be sure to be careful as you head out this morning. Those temperatures a little bit on the mild side, mid to upper 50s into the Cumberland Valley region, but heading into the Big Sandy region, we are in the mid 60s, so a little bit warm to start off your Saturday. And if you are heading out anytime soon, like I just mentioned, be mindful of that patchy fog. Give yourself a little bit of extra time, especially into our southeastern counties. And then by this afternoon, not looking too bad, just a few isolated storms, but nothing to worry about as we head into your afternoon hours. But we are going to be hot and humid, and we will have those few rain chances over the next couple of days. Any relief, I will tell you about it coming up at 7:12, Taylor.
All right, thank you, Kelly. It's certainly been an emotional week here in the mountains and in Magoffin County. This week, so many pulled together to rally around little Kenneth Howard. It took a lot to find him in these eastern Kentucky hills, but he's safe and he's with his family again and is expected to make a full recovery. And the search for Kenneth Howard was much more complex than what you might think. It was not just a group of people walking through the densely wooded areas shouting the young toddler's name. We now know more about how search team leaders organized their efforts and how they used previous missing person cases to find Kenneth before it was too late.
This is his home right here.
And then where was he found again?
He was found right here.
That is a little more than 3/10 of a mile away, but before search crews knew where to begin looking, they checked this book, which looks at the psychology of the missing person based on many factors, including their age.
The children that are, from newborns to 3 years of age, 50% of those are typically found within 2/10 of a mile from the last known point.
The book classifies toddlers like Kenneth as wanderers. That means they likely do not travel in straight lines.
They may zigzag, they may be distracted by, animals. They may see a squirrel, playing on the ground. They'll go that way and check that out. They may see, a bird in a tree and go that way. They're really drawn to creeks or water just because of the sound and the movement.
In addition to establishing the search radius, these lines show many of the paths search crews and canines took over the 66 hours Kenneth was missing.
Some teams had GPSs on them, and they bring them back, and we upload them up onto our computer.
Hounds like the ones from Rough Terrain Rescue use GPS collars. That makes it easier to see where the dogs pick up scents. But what's not easy is following those paths where they've shown interest.
Adults were slipping, falling. The ATVs and the side-by-sides had to have chains, and some of them still couldn't make it up. That's the path that he chose to go.
Coordinators divide the search radius into zones where each team can focus all of their energy on one specific area.
Some come back wet, muddy, ticked, cut. It was a valiant effort.
Search leaders say the one thing that can kill momentum of any search is a negative attitude.
The information collected from search and rescue missions like this one is then reported to state and national databases. The information then helps future search missions that could be similar to the case involving Kenneth Howard. And now to Laurel County, a golden alert has been issued for a Manchester man. London police say they're looking for 35-year-old William Wolfe. He was last seen leaving the London hospital. Police say he made a comment about hitchhiking to Florida. They say he's medically unstable, has PTSD, and a traumatic brain injury. If you see Wolfe, give police a call. And the Kentucky teenager accused of killing 2 classmates will not face a jury in Marshall County. Instead, Gabe Parker's trial will begin this June, about an hour away in Christian County. He's being tried as an adult for 2 counts of murder and 14 counts of assault. The death penalty is not on the table. Instead, prosecutors say they're seeking life in prison. And House Minority Leader Rocky Adkins continued his gubernatorial campaign with a stop in Bowling Green yesterday. Adkins was at Teresa's restaurant to mingle and eat breakfast, then made his way to 5th Street Diner. Adkins spoke about his campaign, saying in recent weeks he has felt it picking up momentum. His hope is to create a strong economy for rural Kentucky through aerospace manufacturing.
Now somebody needs to stand up and fight for working families, and we've carried that across Kentucky, and the message that we're carrying comes also with people understanding that my years of service in the General Assembly has helped me develop really a seasoned experience and a proven leadership.
Adkins has served in the House of Representatives for 32 years. Adkins is on the Democratic ticket along with Andy Beshear, Adam Edelin, and Jeff Young. He has several Eastern Kentucky stops on his schedule through Monday. And Attorney General Andy Beshear wasn't far away yesterday. He made a stop at a local coffee shop. He says he wants to bring affordable health care to the state, fix the state's pension system, and tackle the drug epidemic. Beshear says the state needs a governor who's not afraid to stand up for Kentuckians.
Well, I think that what sets me apart from my opponents is talk versus action. Everybody will talk about health care, but I'm actually fighting for it in 3 national lawsuits, trying to prevent the government from tearing away coverage for pre-existing conditions. I'm the only candidate in a Democratic primary that has a health care plan out there.
Beshear says he has a 4-part plan to help the pension system that includes expanded gaming and medicinal marijuana. Beshear faces Adkins, former state auditor Adam Edelin, and Jeff Young in Tuesday's election. And also yesterday, Gil Holland stepped in Hazard at the Shenanigans restaurant to talk with people in the community. Holland is Democrat Adam Edelin's running mate. He says he's confident that they'll go on to win the Democratic nomination in the Kentucky governor's race.
We have a great message, and we are talking about jobs, and we're talking about, making Kentucky a place that all of our children will want to stay here and prosper and work on finding their version of the American dream in the place they call home.
Holland also stopped in Whitesburg. Remember, the May primary is this Tuesday. And Friday, we learned a Kentucky man is dead following a shooting in Detroit, Michigan. Medical examiners there tell us someone shot Jimmy Cox in the shoulder. He crashed and died in the city's west side. People who knew Cox tell us he grew up in Bell County. It's unclear whether he still lived there, but we're told he does still have family in the county. Well, it's that time of year again. The 5th annual Breathitt County Trail Ride kicked off this week. Hundreds of people saddled up to enjoy the ride, hosted by the Breathitt County Horsemen's Association. Officials with BCHA say this has been the biggest turnout they've had so far, and they're glad to find ways to help boost the local economy.
It really supports our county. It brings money into our county, helps our businesses. All these people's going to stop down here and get gas or ice or food, groceries. It's really a good thing for Breathitt County.
The trail ride takes place at the South Fork Elkview and will continue until tomorrow afternoon. Well, now this story is sure to make you chuckle. In Wise County, Virginia police came across an odd situation. One deputy found himself chasing down an unusual target. He found himself chasing a spotted gray potbelly pig. The cute little pig is now safe with its owner, but not before Carlson posed with it for a picture. And Gatlinburg is now home to yet another attraction. The grand opening of the Sky Bridge attraction, the longest pedestrian suspension bridge in North America, happened yesterday. The bridge measures 680 feet long with glass floor panels and its highest point. The bridge will also feature an observation area, snack shop, bar, and gift shop. Coming up on Mountain News this morning, take a guess at what researchers are now using snake venom for. We'll tell you more next. And later in sports, meet Bell County's new boys head basketball coach. Hear from him coming up.
We continue the hot and humid trend into the weekend. How long will it last, and will we see any relief? Those details are coming up next.